Here's another
Reckless speculation.
interesting story today revolving around a Minnesota Viking from BostonSportsJournal.com. Greg Bedard, who's been writing about the NFL for a number of years, a couple decades, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
And he says it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand the Patriots aren't just going to replace Rob Gronkowski, even the 2018 version of Gronk. Between his receiving ability, catch radius, clutchness, blocking, Gronkowski wrapped everything Bill Belichick ever wanted at the position of tight end into one big goofy package. But the Patriots are going to need to replace him in the lineup. And with all apologies to 4 random internal guys that I am just breezing past here, they don't appear to have that player currently on the roster. It wouldn't be fair to Tom Brady to head into the 2019 season without at least one reliable option at tight end. And in studying the players likely available to the Patriots, and that could change over time, the player who makes the most sense for the Patriots is Kyle Rudolph.
Reckless speculation.
That crash was fitting, by the way.
Well, let me read the rest and then we can react. So there's so much to like there, and he's likely capable of much more with the Patriots for reasons we'll get into. But the timing and issues associated with acquiring Rudolph are complicated. Let's break it all down. And then they go into how would he fit, et cetera, and then the rest of it is a subscription-based article, but we get the gist of it. He's proposing the Patriots trade for Kyle Rudolph.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do I sign up if I'm Rick Spielman,
But do
Rami?
Vikings fans love this dude so much that they would be upset if he was traded to the New England Patriots, regardless of if it makes football sense? Is he one of those guys that it goes beyond making good football sense, that if he was sent packing, Vikings fans would take offense to that?
I think he's one of the more, if you ranked the 53 Vikings based on how much of a fan favorite they are, he's definitely in the top 5, maybe top 3. I mean, well, Diggs and Thielen are in there. I mean, he's in the top 3 or 5.
I think top 5's fair.
And he's rock solid. He's not spectacular. He's reliable. He catches passes in the red zone. He's a safety blanket on third down. He's put up decent numbers in his career. He does a ton of media. He does a ton of charity. So it wouldn't be just, oh, I guess Kyle Rudolph's gone, or, oh, yeah, trade Kyle Rudolph for a third-round pick. If you traded Kyle Rudolph for a third-round pick to the Patriots, a large chunk of the fan base would be like, what? Why would you do this? I would also need to know if your goal is to win a Super Bowl in 2019, which, I mean, you're paying Kirk Cousins, you're bringing back Everson Griffin and Anthony Barr. Your stated goal is to win a Super Bowl, right? If you trade Kyle Rudolph for a pick, okay, are you using that money now that we're almost to the third wave of free agency? I almost feel like this should have been done 2 weeks ago so that you could get more for your money. Yeah, but like, wouldn't part of this be free up cap space?
Absolutely.
But now that you've missed the first and second wave of free agency, does cap space even matter as much?
So there's 2 things that scare me here. Well, one I like and one I don't like. One is, if the Patriots came to me and offered a third-round pick from purely a football standpoint, I like this. So I would say that Bedard's wrong, that the Patriots are too smart to think that Kyle could replace Gronk. But I like the idea of a potential trade, but here's what scares me. My rule of thumb, if I'm the Vikings, I'm never trading with the Patriots again. Because every time they do, Randy Moss, the Cordell Patterson draft pick trades. Every time Belichick calls Eden Prairie previously, and now Egan, it ends up being a bloodbath that's in favor of the Patriots.
But the Patriots have been wrong on some trades, though, recently, right? They were wrong on Josh Gordon. They thought, oh, we'll just bring him in here and everything will be fine. So what was a 5th-round pick?
It was a calculated gamble there, yeah. But I would have done that.
I think they were probably wrong on the Jimmy Garoppolo front. Like, they waited too long on Garoppolo.
That was a weird deal, though. That whole thing, I still don't get that. To this day, it's almost like Belichick was told to trade him, and so out of spite, he traded him to a buddy in San Francisco.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying, and yes, the Randy Moss thing, I guess they're dumping Randy Moss, third-round pick, and they were right. He had nothing left. And so would they then be right on this front that, there's still tread on the tires? No, we don't know if Bill Belichick thinks Kyle Rudolph is good. We just know that Greg Bedard, who writes for BostonJournal.com, thinks that Kyle Rudolph is good and would make sense. If Bill Belichick said, yep, Kyle Rudolph is good and we're going to trade for him, would I be less likely to make that trade and think, well, maybe we should keep Kyle Rudolph?
There you go. Maybe there's something there. You know what? Maybe there's something there.
More.
Yeah. He is one of those guys. And I think for a long time, the Spurs were kind of that team in the NBA where if they want a guy, You're like, okay, there's got to be something there with that guy. We better hold on to him because they obviously see it and they're smarter than us. So why don't we see it?
Yeah.
Let's dig a little deeper.
Yeah. But if you have a chance, Kyle Rudolph, I think is 30 now, somewhere in that age range. If you have a chance to pick up a decent draft pick for a guy that isn't, like, let's face it, at that salary, he's pretty replaceable. If you were to bring in a Max Williams or somebody,
I'd be inclined to do it.
Yeah, Max Williams is still a free agent,
yes.
right? And then he could replace. He's likable Minnesota kid, right? You could replace the likability factor with Minnesota tight end, and you could save some cap space.
I'd probably do it. 3rd round pick.
Yeah, I don't understand why something hasn't happened with Kyle Rudolph yet. I've said this time and time again. He had some quotes a few weeks ago. I don't have them here in front of me, but essentially saying, yeah, nobody's approached me or my agent about any sort of restructure. And if they did, I'd be stupid not to take it because I have no guaranteed money right now. I have no leverage in these negotiations. And I want to play the rest of my life or NFL career in Minnesota. So if somebody wants to call me and approach me about renegotiating or restructuring, I'm here and this is my agent's number. And the Vikings are like, nah, we're good. We're cool.
It is odd when someone flat out says publicly, I'll totally work here for way less money. All you have to do is ask.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
And they're not asking.